So good morning. The thing is to be that we are going to see about an encoder. Okay. So what is an encoder? Actually, the encoder is an electromechanical device that can measure displacement. So similarly, the encoders are normally a digital displacement transducer, which consisting of an mechanical element and a sensing herd, typically of what we have it of being a optical type. Okay. So we will have a transducer which consists of mechanical element. So mechanical element that can be either of a disc or ruler and a sensing head which is to be an optical type. Okay, so the mechanical element, the thing is to be that we'll have a rotary type encoders. For a ruler we'll have of an linear type encoders with a deposited or curved patterns. So the sensing head, what will happen Sapna, it includes LED source and a light sensor in order to read the generated code. Okay, when you are saying about an encoders, actually they are used to translate rotary or linear motion into a digital signal. Usually this is for the purpose of monitoring or controlling motion parameters such as speed, rate, direction, or an instance. So when you are saying about an optical encoder, it is a complex system which converts a mechanical rotary motion into a usable electrical signal. Okay. When you are saying about a diagrammatic representations, so this is to be the diagrammatic representations. So we'll have of an input to be a mechanical rotary motion input, and the output signal we'll have over on it. Okay, and we'll have of an opaque area, transparent segment, LEDs assembly, sensing shaft, coded disk, light sensor assembly, photo transistors, everything. Okay, so apart from that, what we'll be having over on it Abdina. So this is to be the mask over that. So in photo receiver, we'll have a schematic trigger output, we'll have a hot disk, we'll have a LED. So an encoder, when you are defining, it is to be a photoelectric emitter receiver pair looking through a slotted disk. Okay. So when you are saying about an construction, so what we can able to say that Abina, it consists of an rotor and a stator. So when you are saying about an rotor, actually it can be a metal, glass, or a plastic disc mounted on the encoder shaft. Similarly, when you are saying about an disk, we'll have of an optical pattern which is decoded to generate position information. Okay, when you are saying about an stator, it consists of a pair of LED and photo transistors. So where the LED which shines through the transparent section and received by photo transistors. So all these things will be amplified and it will be even converted. Okay. So the next thing we are in need to see about and what are all the types of encoders. So we'll have two different types, one to be the incremental and other one to be the absolute. So when you are saying about an incremental, actually it will measure the displacement relative to a reference point. Whereas in the case of an absolute, it measures an absolute position. So whenever we are, but when you are saying about the advantages and disadvantages, actually a missed reading will not affect the next reading when you are using of an absolute encoder. Actually, it only needs power when you are reading. But disadvantage, it will be more expensive or complex and will have a cost complexity which is proportional to one resolution or accuracy. Okay, let me see one by one. Incremental optical encoders. So when you are saying about an incremental encoder, it output contains a series of pulses when the shaft rotates. And similarly, each pulse corresponds to an increment of revolution of the shaft. Okay, and the disk has two channels which is divided into n equal angular intervals which is alternately opaque and clear. So when you are saying about an n, which is called as an resolution or number of counts over on it. So where the pulse is counted by the processing electronics, which give the angular position of the rotor. For this purpose, we will need often two square waves A and B, or use with the third channel Z, which is synchronous with signals. So when you are saying about an A and B, which gives only one signal per revolution, it allows the user to initialize or reset the count. So this is the value of an optical encoder. So we'll have of an phase A and phase B and phase Z. So when a disk with an optical pattern revolves along with the shaft, the light passing through the slits is transmitted or blocked accordingly. So the light will convert it into an electrical current in the vector elements, which corresponds to each slit, and the output is as an two square waves. So the two slits are positioned so that the phase difference between the square wave outputs is to be 1 by 4 pitch. And the type of encoder outputs a pulse string in response to the amount of rotational displacement of the shaft. Okay, to detect the amount of rotation from a certain input shaft position, the count in the counter is reset at the reference position and the number of pulses from that position is added cumulatively by the counter. So when you are saying about the advantage disadvantages, actually the incremental encoder is much simpler since it has only one track and one set of emitter or detectors or brushes. Similarly, the direction of rotation for incremental encoders can also be a problem since the pulse do not indicate the direction. Bidirectional incremental encoders generally have two tracks placed so that the pulses will be 90 degrees out of phase with each other. We have to be about an absolute optical encoder. Actually, when a disk with the pattern rotates, the light passing through the slits is transmitted or blocked according to the pattern. The received light is converted into an electrical current. The detector elements take the form of waves and becomes digital signal. So whereas this type of encoder outputs in parallel the rotation angle as an absolute value in the encode code. It therefore which has one output for each output code bit, and as the resolution increases and the value of output increases. Rotation push reduction is accomplished by directly reading the output code. When the encoder is incorporated into a machine, the zero position of the input revolution shaft is fixed and the rotation angle is always output as a digital value with the zero position as the coordinate origin. So the absolute encoder which has several tracks that are binary encoded so that the total shaft angle can be determined. The absolute encoder needs no synchronization or direction capability. The actual shaft position is available at all times by reading the binary coded word from each of the emitted detectors or brushes. Similarly, the disk of the absolute encoder which has a track for each bit of digital word representing the shaft position. The most significant bit is weighted at 180 degrees, and the next bit is weighted at 90 degrees. The next bit is weighted at 45 degrees. Each track has an area of proportional to its size. The most significant track will be on for half the circumference and half for half the circumference. The next track will be on twice and off twice at 90 degrees spacing provided over on it. So we'll have an additional disk that gives a number of revolutions. It consists of gear wheel strain, and we'll have a main disk that gives a position over 360 degree rotation. So this is about an absolute encoder. Okay. So this is about an encoder size over on it. Okay. The next thing actually we have to see about an magnetic sensors. So magnetic sensors, the thing is to be that which can detect changes and disturbances in the magnetic field like flux, strength, and direction. So whereas in the case of an other types of detection sensors, which works with characteristics like temperature, pressure, and light over on it. So from the established knowledge about the existing magnetic field and the data collected from sensors regarding changes and alterations, many things can be known. Okay, rotations, angles, directions, presence, and electrical current, which can also be monitored. When you are saying about a magnetic sensors, that can be divided into two groups: those that measure the complete magnetic field and those that measure the vector components of the field. The vector components are the individual points of the magnetic field. The techniques which are used to create these sensors involve various combinations of physics and electronics. So, what are all the terminology that we use in the magnetic sensor? The first one to be the magnetic field intensity. Usually, will be denoted by means of an H, so which can be named as a magnetizing force, or it can be named as a magnetic intensity. That is the part of the magnetic field in a material that arises from an external current and it is not intrinsic to the material itself. It is expressed as a vector H and it is measured in units of amperes per meter. Whereas the case of a magnetic flux permeability, so the thing is to be that is the amount of magnetic flux to a unit area taken perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic flux. Also, it is called as an magnetic induction. It is expressed as B and it is measured in Tesla. Okay. The next thing we have to see about an magnetic permeability. Okay, so when you are saying about an magnetic permeability, so that we can about the magnetic permeability and what are the factors affecting magnetic permeability that we can see in the next class. Thank you all.